Hi, I'm David, and I'm back with Magic ManaStrike. I found a new red shirt to wear while playing my red Koth deck, but before we get into any gameplay, I would like to kindly ask you to like and subscribe. Before we do anything else, let's upgrade some cards. So, I have been heavily requesting from my team the Shivan Dragon, and enough times to get 8 new copies of it and upgrade the card, or level up the card. So, a level up at this point costs 9,600. I'm sure you can't see that because my face is over it, but that's just the best place for my face in the video. And then as well, I have opened some Stormfleet Swashbucklers in packs, and I think I bought 1 or 2 from a daily shop over the past week or so, and I now have more than 10. So this guy, unfortunately, cost $19,200 or coins, gold, to upgrade, and I don't have enough. I could have chosen this one over the Shivan Dragon if I had been smart, because you do get the choice to confirm paying gold towards the upgrade. However, I think the Shivan Dragon's upgrade is more important, so I'll just have to wait on the Swashbuckler until I get some more gold. And I'm not quite at rank 9 right now, even though, go take a look at my previous video, I did reach rank 9, but obviously I lost some games since then, so let's just get right into it. I expect this video to be about an hour long, trying to make longer content than just half an hour, so feel absolutely free to pause the video, not finish the video, watch whatever parts interest you. I don't mind. So our first match is against Garruk. I'll play a Hell Rider. He will probably respond to it. Doesn't particularly... Okay, there we go. So, see the Planeswalker. I will play Koth in the back here to deal with the minion summons, and unfortunately, that was a bit of a mistake on my part, sending in the dragon because of the spiders. And then I also missed the fact that he was sending in a Vengevine to my top row, which I'm pretty sure was his goal. And I'll put in a Hell Rider now because the building should disappear. I was a little bit late, but I did stun the Garruk. I don't think it was worth it. The dragon was pretty good there. I think I will be playing another dragon, because I have a chance to answer Garruk without a second Planeswalker, so now I'm ahead. My top tower is heavily damaged, so that's not good. I'll play a Goblin Artillery, and he shouldn't be able to play his building in time, so the Goblin Artillery will deal some damage to the Sub-Guardian. There he plays his Garruk, so I want to distract it with my Planeswalker. But as I said, I am pretty ahead with the fact that I've only used my second Planeswalker, and this is his third copy of the Planeswalker. But I don't think I ever finished my thought. See, right here, the Vengevine's going to go. And I need 2 units to deal with it. But it didn't deal much, if any, damage to my tower. And actually, I was not paying enough attention to the bottom row, but I took out his bottom Sub-Guardian. So now I have an extra Koth, and he has not yet gotten my top Sub-Guardian. So definitely defend against it. Koth there, Shivan Dragon, that was a bit far back. Luckily for me, he played his Vengevine in the back row. I'll play Hell Rider. I want to keep him on his toes. Use Koth's ability to make sure that he doesn't die, and his AoE damage should handle some of what's going on with the Garruk play there. But I will absolutely be using another Koth to handle Garruk. The problem is I don't think I can take out Vengevine before my tower's gone. Wow, I did, but he has Circle of Pain, which apparently he used not on my tower, but that tower's pretty much gone. And there's the Vengevine, which will be doing the damage to my tower, so I'm trying to make sure that I keep up the pressure on his upper Sub-Guardian. Koth with the ability to try to survive longer, but ouch, that was really bad with all of the units that he had there. Koth did not survive very long. I'm saving up for the Shivan Dragon because the aggressive units and the Hadron Scouts aren't worth it. I'm effectively playing with one card right now because I don't want to play the aggressive units and I don't want to play the Hadron Scouts. I guess I will play the Hadron Scouts and save up for a dragon, but I don't know if the dragon can do it. Alright. So he definitely has the Skull Catapult right now. Wow, that was a misplay, and maybe a fairly significant misplay. There's the Skull Catapult, and with the repeated Circle of Pain, he might have this game, because I can't deal with all of the Vengevines that are going to pop up, and Circle of Pain. So I did not know if that was in the bonus time, then I should have been a lot more defensive to just last those final 3 seconds. But I don't remember right now if it was in overtime or not. So it's been a while since I played, which means I'm behind on my... Oh, let's make sure to collect the Magic Pass, or the daily quest. So I'm way behind on my daily quests and my packs boosters. So yeah, I think I misplayed there. I'm pretty sure it was overtime, and I let him just march his way to my main guardian with all of his troops the first time. So yeah, never let a push go towards your main guardian unanswered. So this one is Will and Rowan. If I understand them correctly, there are Planeswalker abilities to switch between the two, and each of the two's basic attacks does something. And Will's is to freeze, and that's generally what I see people use. So the stun was actually very good for me there. It stunned the Fire Shrine Keeper. And since he's used his Planeswalker, I am going to be comfortable using my Planeswalker right now. And the Wave Crash Triton is actually going to do me real dirty here because Koth won't AoE damage all of the people there. The Wave Crash Triton pushed him away. But Wave Crash Triton can't deal with flying units, so the dragon's in. And unfortunately, the dragon didn't hit the Ninja of the Deep Hours with his attack, but killed the ninja pretty quickly once the Planeswalker was killed. So this actually is the second Planeswalker is out, so I am prepared to play Koth again. Let's do it right here. And use his ability right away and place another unit because I don't know, like, they're so chaotic right now that I can't see if the Wave Crash Triton was played. Looks like it was not, so let's put in the Hell Rider. Hopefully stuns the Wave Crash Triton. It misses the Wave Crash Triton. So right now I'm really just playing a defensive game. Don't let his Planeswalker advance too far, because I do have some damage on my tower. Okay, so here's the ninja. Unfortunately, I just played the Hadron Scouts, so that is my fault that I don't have them to answer the ninja, and the ninja really took out damage on my tower, but I am much more damaged. I have dealt much more damage to his tower. So right now it's pretty much just protecting my tower from taking any more damage and chipping away at his tower, like right now with the Hell Rider. Well, the Wave Crash Triton is going to push the Hell Rider, so that was likely a mistake on my part. Koth and the Fire Shrine Keeper behind, such that his units hopefully don't know which one to attack, and Koth can get in his AoE attacks. And so he saved Waygate the entire game just to do it at the end with only the ninja. It was definitely an interesting choice. And here it comes again. So I definitely see the idea Oh, and here we go. So this time it has the Haunted Guardian and other units. Well, maybe not other units, but yeah. So I understand the point of this deck. I don't think it's good. Wait, how is my tower taking damage right now? So I'm pretty sure my tower was taking damage from the Rowan version of the Planeswalker. And he probably dropped his ninja, which only attacked towers. So, again, I don't feel like the deck should be particularly good. If you had a tower, you would be able to block that. I just don't. If this deck were to add a tower, it would just be a totally different deck. And actually, given that I still have a third of the month left, I have been considering switching to a different perspective on Koth, much more defensive. So let me know if you're bored of the current Koth deck, and I can put out a more defensive Koth deck with Ben Sentinel and cards like that. That deck would probably beat the Will Rowan version that we just played, but I've never seen that before. Alright, well, this one took a while to load, which is why I kept talking, but it's Nissa. Really wants to commit to the top row, so I'll send my Hellrider to the bottom, because Shivan Dragon and Koth should deal handedly with the units that he's chosen to place on the board. Let's also use Fire Shrine Keeper. Koth died, so that's not good. That's decidedly not good. But this range unit in the back, the new 3 cost for green, is very good and is kind of wrecking my dragon. I just have to take this one on the tower, even though it's really bad, because I do not want to play my Planeswalker or spend my mana on cards, given that that push was a lot harder to answer than I thought it was going to be. I don't really care about the bird alone. I'll play the dragon to not waste mana. He puts a Haunted Guardian in the bottom lane. Not really sure why when his Planeswalker's in the top lane. So I think the reason Koth died so badly was because Koth is attacking the Baloth and not damaging the attacking units at all. Wow, the Haunted Guardian is really going to hurt because he has a lot of health, so he's going to take a long time to kill. So I'll play a Phoenix just to try to mitigate the damage from this and the Herald of the Pantheon. No, sorry, I can't play the Hellrider. Koth is once again getting destroyed. Wow. Well, okay, so he did what he had to do. I mean, Nissa and, well, no, the other unit's not remotely close to dead. And now I'm behind because I played Koth. And my opponent has another Nissa. But what I need right now to have any chance at winning is taking this tower. So, unfortunately, he has enough defensive units. With the Herald, he has 2 of the Archers down and 2 Haunted Guardians down. So this is a very cheap deck, honestly, in mana. I mean, look at the flood that he's put out right now. A cheap deck with the Baloth, and there isn't even a Baloth on the board right now, which is what's allowing him to take so much advantage of ManaStrike and just have so much damage output at any one instant that none of my units are going to survive long enough to do significant damage to all of the units that exist. So, that's the best green deck I've seen. I mean, I was impressed. I would play that. So let's just move on to the next game. I have, unfortunately, lost a lot so far, but that's what you get in games like this. Just plugging my own videos. Check out my recent videos in which I have won a lot, but I really deserve to equal out my win rate here with these losses. So we're playing a Vraska. Vraska's not particularly common because Garruk is the same color set and just generally stronger. So we got our second bomb off there. It's good enough. Alright, how am I going to deal with the Vengevine? The same way that I deal with Ninja of the Deep Hours. So the Spider only ranged attacks air units, but melee attacks ground units. So the fact that my Swashbuckler is a ground ranged unit gives it more damage on the Spider. And this Vraska is playing Skull Catapult, so that will cause some problems, but I will just put my aggressive units in the top lane right now. I haven't seen a Vraska yet, and haven't been very pressured, and there's a Vraska. So I'll use cost ability, but also try to take out the... Wow, he has already cycled around to new Skull Catapult. But Koth isn't dead, so I get to play the Hell Rider. And I have done pretty significant damage on the tower for this push. I'll play another Koth. I think it's the best way to just stop Vraska in her tracks here. I will probably get Circle of Pain. Well, alright, I got Skull Catapulted. So Koth did take out the Skull Catapult, but I got no additional damage on the Sub-Guardian. This is feeling more and more like a bot as I am not pressured. The opponent only played a Planeswalker in response to my Planeswalker, and not to sound like a broken record, but the game will generally give you a bot to make you feel better after you've lost a few, and we just all saw me lose 3 in a row. So, but as I mentioned in a previous video, the bot at this level is legitimately tricky. Not that I should probably lose to it, because, I mean, look at this. How many Shivan Dragons have I played? A bunch. So, alright, Hell Rider reached the tower. Okay, just plays another Skull Catapult. The Circle of Pain is being very annoying. As are the Skull Catapults, which they always are whenever I play any black player, but specifically Tezzeret and Garruk both use the Skull Catapult. Alright, well, this is embarrassing. I may have just lost to a bot. So, I mean, that is the major weakness of my Koth deck, is if you can't hit the tower, it doesn't matter how defensive you are, you don't get any stars and you lose the game. Or, they're not called stars, sparks. Yeah, I mean, it's really not going too well right now. Jace? I mean, there's nothing to do with a bunch of bad games in a row but move on and try to win the next one. So, Jace should probably be able to respond to this, might have a tower, but what I'm looking for is what tower or response the Jace player has. And there's always a chance that they don't have it in their opening dock. So, it doesn't look like Jace has used his mirror ability yet. But as I like to do, so Koth can handle the Jace Planeswalker, and look, Koth is still alive because I used his ability. But I misplaced the Swashbuckler. and it did not send its piercing arrow through all of the units, which was a problem. I mean, they could have died faster. Koth could have had more health. Is that a Jace? That is a Jace. And immediately uses his ability, so I'm totally comfortable using Koth and Koth's ability to answer that. Because what you want to do with Koth, in my experience, is answer a Planeswalker with your Koth, use Koth's ability to get an advantage out of it, and then use the fact that Koth is still alive to make a push. Like right now, I don't need to commit anything else. The Sphinx makes my dragon kill my Hell Rider, which is not fun. Jace's ranged ability kills my Swashbuckler. But right now, the Goblin Artillery should take out the bottom Sub-Guardian. I just have to be concerned about a ManaStrike push of these little cheap units along with the Ninja of the Deep Hours. Right there's the Ninja. Let's play Koth, let's play a Buccaneer, and let's also do a Fireshrine Keeper. Hadron Scouts were probably the better choice to deal with the Ninja. Wow, yeah, so it should have been the Hadron Scouts. I mean, my lack of ability to deal with the Ninja immediately lost me the Sub-Guardian. I do have to answer the Ninja on my tower, on my main Guardian, but it's not the biggest deal. One Ninja probably won't take down the whole main Guardian, but at the same time, as we learned a couple games ago, you can't just ignore any push on your main Guardian. I think he tried to... Oh, yes. So he used the portal spell to move units I had placed a dragon to defend against to the bottom lane. So that's just something to be cognizant about and be aware of. The fact that it can, like, since I knew this card was in the game, just know that it can happen. I'm hoping that the Goblin Artillery and Hell Rider can deal with the... okay, I'm behind. So, at the end there, I was hoping that the Hell Rider and Goblin Artillery could deal with the remaining Sub-Guardian before the 30-second time was up. And they were able to, but mostly because my opponent didn't, and therefore probably couldn't, respond to it. He or she had just spent all of their mana on the push toward my bottom Sub-Guardian. Oh, let's make sure to do the daily quests. So that blue deck had some tricks up its sleeve. With the, see, that's the, I don't think that's Waygate, but I don't know what the portal spell is called. But the portal spell shifts all the units crossing from your boundary to the other player's territory down to the other lane. But I hadn't committed completely to the defense of the top lane, which allowed me to have mana to respond to the bottom lane. Hence, I didn't lose the bottom Sub-Guardian. Alright, I am having an internet connection problem. I hope that doesn't affect things too much, but we are playing against Vraska. Vraska with a Skull Catapult. So this is going to be a notably difficult game, but let's see if I have learned anything. No, I don't want to play the dragon there. I'll play the Fireshrine Keeper here. It doesn't really matter which lane I play the Hellrider on. I haven't gotten any damage on the tower, but also my opponents had a Skull Catapult queued up. Yeah, I mean, there's the internet connection problems again. Nothing I can do about that on my end. They play the Circle of Pain to deal with the Goblin Artillery, which is a mana benefit for me, because it was basically only addressing the Goblin Artillery. The other two were pretty much dead or would trade with the Giant Spider. But since Goblin Artillery costs 3 and Circle of Pain costs 4, I have a mana advantage. At the same time, I can't really take advantage of it right now because when I play the Hellrider, he just plays the Skull Catapult. The tower can easily deal with the Hadron Scouts in the top row, so I guess I will use what I have for the Shivan Dragon. But I think this opponent is waiting for ManaStrike, but at the same time, I just realized, because I'm not paying good enough attention, that I still have all 3 of my Planeswalkers, and I haven't seen a Vraska. Now, my opponent just played a Vraska after I played a Koth, which, again, is a clue that this is a bot. If they aren't choosing to use their resources well at all until you do, then it could just be a bot player, where they sort of mirror how you're playing so that it feels fair. But, I mean, look at this. I'm not going to win again. Internet connection. No, I can't play that. Sorry, I know I haven't been talking. It's really disappointing to me, personally, that I can't beat this bot player who isn't doing much of anything. But what I'm trying to do is put Koth in the top lane, because what needs to be protected is my top tower, or else I lose. And I can deal with more damage on the bottom tower. But at this point, all I want to do is make it the next 20 seconds and not lose the game, which I just did with the Vengevine. So okay, it's War of Brains. Did I not play War of Brains earlier? I'm blanking, but I'm not blanking. I do believe I played the War of Brains account earlier. So I guess it's possible that War of Brains is a real player, and the strategy of being purely responsive is correct, because I had lost twice in the exact same manner. Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance that the aggressive style of this deck is not holding up at high 8/low 9. Not that I've been low 9 in this video, but I mean, this is why you would watch videos, right? To see if it's a viable game plan, and taking this video will tell you it's not. So not giving up, though. His only response to... Okay. So it's a Waygate deck. Koth here should be fine. Let's use cost ability, because what we can't let happen is those units attack the main Guardian. So I dealt with the Waygate in the back pretty effectively. Ratchet Bomb did next to nothing. I'll play a Goblin Artillery because this deck probably has nothing to do. right now. I mean, they have Tezzeret Planeswalkers and the Circle of Pain and this unit that I really don't know the name of. But other than that, all the resources are the Waygate. Well, I guess Circle of Pain, the building type unit, the Waygate, and I guess 4 cards that all support the Waygate game plan. So yeah, I mean, it's challenging to decide what to do with my mana, because I don't want to spend, I never want to spend even close to all my mana. Okay, Ratchet Bomb is one of the cards, so 4 cards that support Waygate. I never want to spend remotely close to all of my mana, because when my opponent sees that I have, they will do this. So they'll execute their combo, expecting that I am completely devoid of mana to respond to it. So because I was careful in not using up all my mana, oh no, so that's an example. So I'm about to be very sad because I don't have a Koth available. Well, there's a, come on, get out there. And I did use all my mana on a push. My internet's disconnected for a sec there. And here it is again. And the problem is, this is an instance where Koth surviving is actually hurting me. I need Koth to be able to respond to that push. But Koth was alive and marching. Now, I was not at all watching how his main Guardian was being damaged. The fact that I won that game 3-0, I mean, watch the replay. Watch the replay for me. Tell me in the comments what I did, how I had enough units and damage to take that main Guardian, because I was not paying attention at all. And in the format that I'm using right now, where I'm live commenting, it makes no sense for me to watch the replay and talk about it. But I will, of course, watch this replay as I edit the video. But in the moment, I really thought that I had to defend my main Guardian, and that was it, because he was playing Grave Titan. So, to be explicit, he was playing Grave Titan, which damages his own nearest Guardian when it summons, which is how I was able to take both of his sub-Guardians. It's because he dealt a ton of the damage to his own sub-Guardians. Okay, let's refocus. We have a Will and Rowan deck. So, normally I would play... They switched to Rowan there. Normally I would play Shivan Dragon with all the mana that I had and the fact that they weren't close to my tower. But the Will Planeswalker freezes, and that makes it very difficult to have the Shivan Dragon survive. I mean, it's happening right now. Will sends a Frost Bolt or whatever it is, and the Shivan Dragon is frozen. And so the Shivan Dragon does not trade favorably with the Will Planeswalker. However, all the units that I had there, Will didn't freeze them all, because he can only freeze one at a time, and eventually they took him out. But notice that it was very eventual. It was not quick. But right now my opponent feels pressured, because they are playing a Planeswalker. Basically, I'm a Planeswalker ahead, especially if I can handle this Will without playing my own Koth, which I did. And 2 more bombs from the... Alright, not even. The Swashbuckler took it out. Yeah, I'm very much ahead right now. The fact that I have a tower and I'm a whole Planeswalker ahead, because I was able to deal with Will without my own Koth. puts me in the driver's seat of this game, and for the next minute in ManaStrike, it's defensive. So he has this, I think it's Hysterical Blindness, where all my people get confused, and Shock, where they're all stunned, but I have not seen evidence of my opponent running Sphinx of the Final Word, which is much, much worse to play against than Hysterical Blindness. It's also much more expensive, which is probably why it's not run. I think the Sphinx is blue. I mean, correct me if it's white, but I'm pretty sure the Sphinx is blue. Make sure that I don't lose a tower here by playing my Koth. But at the same time, this person is playing an Ether Squall Ancient with the Shivan Dragon. So I'm very confused why they split up their Ether Squall and Planeswalker pushes. But that was their choice, and it was not effective. Mostly because I was able to respond to his Planeswalker with my Planeswalker, and then his flyers with my flyer defensive units, of which I have multiple in this deck. The Swashbuckler, Koth himself, and the Phoenix. But they're each individually good cards in their own right, and also can handle flying units. Oh, that's one copy of Ashcloud Phoenix. I'll check that in a second, but I have 9 out of 10 Ashcloud Phoenix cards before the upgrade. However, given that Phoenix is a level 5, it will also cost 19,000, just like the Swashbuckler did, because they're both rare. So I'll only get to pick one in a few minutes, because I'm at 17,000 gold right now. So we will probably see in this video that I will reach all 500 Spark for the season. 500 is the limit for rewards, but something like every 10 Spark past 500, you get 50 or something like that gold. And remember, Spark comes from winning Sub-Guardians and completing daily quests. So, actually, if the little reward past 500 is gold, I can really benefit from that. Yeah, I want to upgrade my cards. I have been requesting them for my team. Since the Shivan Dragon was completed, I've been requesting Ashcloud Phoenix cards. So I do want to upgrade the Phoenix and the Swashbuckler. But I don't have the gold for either right now, so it's important to choose which things are valuable to you and that you want to spend your gold on. Alright, another Will Rowan. This deck must be getting pretty popular, but there are a bunch of different versions of it, right? So there was no Ninja of the Deep Hours in the last match. And here, unfortunately, I felt like I had to play Koth. And Koth has been blinded or shocked or something, but also frozen by the dragon. So, unfortunately, I didn't see a Planeswalker come out, and I had to play Koth. I felt like I had to play Koth to respond. And still no Planeswalker here. There it is. Alright, I'll play my Swashbuckler in the back. This is going to be pretty hard to deal with. So I want to stop the ground units where they are, so that my Swashbuckler can attack them, and also now my Phoenix. But the problem is I don't have great units right now, because I've cycled back to my aggressive units. And what I have, the Hadron Scouts, I have to hope the Hadron Scouts will go kill Will, but they're not. And unfortunately, the Fire Shrine Keeper was unnecessary. Wow, and neither was using cost ability. I am, surprisingly to me, destroying his units a lot more quickly than I think I am. I believe this is the Rowan side with the sparkly stuff. Again, I'm not really sure what that ability does, but I'm trying to use the Hadron Scouts to kill it because it's all I got. My tower has taken a lot of damage. I have no more Planeswalkers. I'm pretty sure my opponent has one, and we're about to hit the ManaStrike mark. So what I have to do is take my opponent's Subguardian while not losing my own. Also dealing with spotty internet connection. So I think that the best way to do that is to be offensive, keep units on his side, play the aggressive units so that he has to respond to them. But it's not working. There's my internet connection again. I am not being able to keep his units on his side. Alright, Fireshrine Keeper and the new Phoenix have to deal with the Ninja, because if I don't deal with the Ninja, my tower's gone. My tower's gone anyway. The two Icefall Dragons is what I think was the end of me, but because they're flying, they covered up everything that was under it, and I really couldn't see what kinds of units were being played beneath the Icefall Dragons. I know that there was Wave Crash Tritons, and I couldn't... Specifically, I could not see when a Planeswalker was played or wasn't played. But the Wave Crash Tritons handily answered. The Hadron Scouts pushed back the Fireshrine Keeper as well. So my opponent got two big pushes in the game, one of which did most of the damage to my Subguardian, the other one finished it off. So that deck's strategy was executed very well. An unfortunate strategy, given that I had to face down double Icefall Dragon twice. Alright, this opponent was a Garruk, so test out whether he's playing the Skull Catapult. It's at least not in his 4 first cards. Vengevine, it's going to be difficult to handle, but unfortunately, the Shivan Dragon did it, but took a lot more mana than he put in for that. My opponent is playing a Reaver Demon version of Garruk. Koth is just a boss at handling the Reaver Demon himself, so that wasn't really a concern. Alright, so to answer Garruk here, well, alright, unfortunately, Reaver Demon sucked up all of the spawns that Koth could have easily killed himself. Alright, so my opponent wants to distract me with the danger of Garruk and Reaver Demon. Is running the Skull Catapult, which is surprising to me that I haven't seen until now. But then actually take me out with the Vengevines. Alright, I'll play my aggressive units while the Skull Catapult is gone. Alright, so there's a Reaver Demon. I'll get Shivan Dragon, and yes. So now I have to respond to Vengevine, and that's going to be really difficult. Oh, turns out not too difficult. I mean, Vengevine has dealt a lot of damage to my tower overall so far, but the Hadron Scouts, as long as you play them after the Vengevine summons, they can take out Vengevine. The problem is that playing them after Vengevine summon means you're taking a ton of damage. So here I'm playing the Goblin Artillery. I was hoping to hit the... Oh, no. So I misplayed Koth. Should have been in the top lane. And now I can very easily lose the top lane Sub-Guardian, so Hell Rider should make it there. So now we both have one Sub-Guardian, and I have to play Koth here to respond to his push towards my main Guardian. And unfortunately with Vengevine, I don't think I win this game. He can just continue to Vengevine my tower. And with Skull Catapult, I can't reliably hit his tower with my aggressive units. And there it is. Game over. Okay. I'm going to continue to play this version of the deck for the remainder of the hour. But I'm pretty disappointed with it right now. And if this is the meta that I'm facing, I will be switching to the deck with the Vent Sentinel. I don't exactly know the entire list. I believe it gives up on Goblin Artillery but keeps Hellrider. It might be the other way around. But it is specifically more defensive, and clearly other people can respond to my aggression, and it's therefore not worth it. He played Grave Titan in the back. Okay, so I don't know what's going on with this deck. My opponent played Grave Titan in the back of their own territory, so that it damaged their main Guardian, which that I understand. You don't want to damage your sub-Guardians because your sub-Guardians are the ones that are going to die to your opponent, so in this case me, my attacks. So he takes the damage on his main Guardian. But why are you playing Grave Titan and then not following up on it? I mean, I guess it dealt significant damage to my tower while he also had a push in the bottom lane with his Planeswalker. Yeah, and with the Dross Messenger too, just reliable tower damage. Sorry, I know that I wasn't talking that much there. Nothing much was going on. We were just both contesting the space there. I have slowly dealt enough damage to take his bottom sub-Guardian. But I know for pretty much sure that since neither of us have dealt damage to the other sub-Guardian, my opponent probably has the upper hand. There's a Grave Titan, and my internet connection stalled out. So my opponent has played the Grave Titan. Hellrider may or may not have been a mistake. I don't know. Since the Grave Titan is distracted with my Koth right now, I do want to get as much damage on my opponent's Sub-Guardian as possible. I'm trying to kill the Grave Titan without Koth, because Koth can be used once Liliana breaches. I guess Liliana never breached my side of the territory. And I don't think I can beat my opponent in sudden death because my opponent has the Skull Catapult, which then means that I'm just playing to tie, which is not exactly the position that I want to be in. Okay, so I played the Hell Rider just in case. My opponent now has his Skull Catapult ready. I'll play the... okay, Skull Catapult didn't die. So now I have to protect my bottom tower against the Drall's Messenger. Maybe, just maybe, can I deal the damage to the... Let me finish my thought here. To the second Sub-Guardian. Once again, I was paying zero attention to how much damage I could do to the main Guardian because that has betrayed me in the past. If I actively try to defeat the main Guardian, it turns out to be a distraction from the game that I should be playing, which is either get the second Sub-Guardian because it has less health, or be defensive and don't lose the game. Somehow, in this recording, twice have I won by taking the main Guardian. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm surprised that that works. But I've also been... Use black mana and summon more cards. I've also been beaten by people going for my main Guardian, so it is very hard to stop once there's a train of units headed for your main Guardian. But that's generally not the point of this deck. You generally don't build up enough of an advantage to march all the way to the main Guardian. So, if you were paying close attention, my current quests are use black mana and summon white cards. Clearly neither of which I'm doing with this deck. But I can't reset them because I've already re-rolled a daily quest. So, my options, honestly, are either play some games with a different Planeswalker and probably lose, because the white cards or the black cards are not upgraded very much for me, or just wait until tomorrow and reset the daily. But stuff like that is why my rank fluctuates. I try not to play very much without recording, but to finish quests and stuff, I do, because, I mean, why would you want to see me play a black deck in which all of my cards are level 1, and I just toss things out there to spend 50 mana? You shouldn't, is the answer. So, very typical Garruk game here. He has a Skull Catapult. My first Goblin Bomb goes to the Skull Catapult and kills it. Koth isn't dead, and therefore I can't really deal with his Garruk in the top lane right now, and if he builds up some mana, he can play more cards right where the Garruk is. So as soon as I got my Koth back, I played it, but I mean, my Sub-Guardian is already at 2,000 damage. Not damage, but it's at 2,000 health, so it's taken a bit of damage. At the same time, we should positively note that his bottom Sub-Guardian is only at 621 health. And he has played now all 3 of his Planeswalkers. So it is important to also keep in mind that the only way he gets another Planeswalker from here is at the minute mark, which is a long time away. Or by taking a Sub-Guardian. So I really want to prevent this Vengevine from getting my Sub-Guardian, because I just have to get 2 Goblin Artillery hits here, which I definitely will at this point. 1, 2 is on its way. And I now have his bottom Sub-Guardian and another Planeswalker. I could use this Planeswalker to make an advance on the Sub-Guardian that has 3,700 health. I'm not going to, because I want to build up my mana for when 1 minute hits and see where my opponent is going to invest the resources. My opponent is splitting it up and forcing me to split as well, which is good for them, because if all of my units were concentrated, it would be more powerful, except for the Circle of Pain, actually. Circle of Pain would have been more powerful for my opponent had all of my units been grouped. But they were separate because my opponent chose to go Vengevine and Garruk. And now, so this is a very good example of where Koth surviving creates a push to the tower. And I do... Wow, I almost lost my bottom Sub-Guardian there. In fact, in 14 seconds, I might fully lose the bottom Sub-Guardian. My opponent's Vengevine was able to take my top Sub-Guardian, and they are betting on the fact that Circle of Pain can take out the bottom Sub-Guardian, which it did. So now I am in a fair bit of trouble because Vengevine and a good push on his part could take out my main Guardian, but since I had let my units just wander over to his main Guardian and deal pretty significant damage, and my opponent had to be completely concerned with eliminating my 2 Sub-Guardians to stay in the game, his main Guardian was so heavily damaged that I was able to take it out and seal the game within the minute of extra time. Yeah, I think if I made a highlight reel, that game would be in it. I mean, it was fairly typical Garruk play and very good responses from my side. Not to brag, but splitting up, I think splitting up his ManaStrike attack is what did it there. He could have concentrated it all and made it a lot harder for me. By playing Circle of Pain after, made it a lot harder for me to recover. Alright, Shivan Dragon. I'll put my aggressive units in the top lane then, because look at the commitment to the bottom lane there. My opponent is forced to use one of his Planeswalkers to deal with my aggressive units in the top lane. That's actually pretty good for me because I believe that I have the upper hand. If I am controlling the pace of the game, then I have the upper hand. And so by requiring my opponent to use a Planeswalker, it eliminates their aspect of controlling when they are choosing to play the Planeswalker. So hopefully Swashbuckler here can distract the Icefall Dragon enough that Shivan Dragon can come back alive. Not quite as good as I was hoping, but at least I don't have to play the Hadron Scouts on the Goblin Artillery. And internet disconnection, but a bit of damage on the tower is always good. Let's play another Goblin Artillery and Hell Rider. My opponent played a Shivan Dragon in the wrong row with respect to that, and let his Planeswalker be stunned. The fact that I saw Planeswalker again for the aggressive units is a good sign for me. However, I did just misplay Koth. I dropped him 2 in the center. And he ended up choosing to attack the Shivan Dragon instead of the Planeswalker and the other units up above. So that really hurt. I'm still able to respond to everything that's going on, but the top would have been a lot more secure if Koth had been there. Turns out I do get the Sub-Guardian anyway, so it's not a huge deal. I probably should not have played the Goblin Artillery there. Because it was just a waste of mana. I don't need to get the tower badly enough to play the Goblin Artillery. But what I do need is a defense so that none of my towers die. Now, the problem is that none of the units in the rotation right now are damaged flyers, so I had to play Koth. But if Koth got frozen by the Icefall Dragon, then he would just die from the Phoenix attacks, or the Sphinx attacks. And then I would still have no flyers in my dock to play. So I had to just toss out a unit, and it took me a sec to decide which unit, but I chose the Fire Shrine Keeper. Just tossed him out there to get someone back in who could attack flyers. All right. I will play this one more game, but I think it'll be my final one of the video. So thanks for sticking around. If you have actually watched the whole video, again, I had planned for this one to be an hour. I think this is about the hour mark. So this will be my last game. Enjoy. I'll try to. It's another Garruk, so aggressive start to pressure the opponent. Only plays the mana bird, but shows me, which is why I use this start, that they are playing the Skull Catapult. The bird's not a concern. The Drolls Messenger is. Luckily, I can answer it with the 1-mana Hadron Scouts. Hopefully, the Fire Shrine Keeper can handle the ground units there, but I don't have anything to answer Vengevine very well because I just used the Hadron Scouts for Drolls Messenger. So now I have to rely on Koth to deal with Garruk, and again I play the Hadron Scouts to deal with the second half of Drolls Messenger, which is long-term not a good policy. I should not have to play both, or I should not have to play 2 copies of Hadron Scouts. Internet connection issue to deal with Drolls Messenger. Unfortunately, there is no good way that I've found to handle it, especially when it comes back alive. But even right now, that was a bad play on my opponent's part because I already had units down to respond to the messenger, so they just attacked the Vengevine. I'll play Koth in the back here, knowing that he will deal with Drolls Messenger and then Garruk in a sec. So I get Circle of Pain, which is fairly typical. I have a bunch of units right there, so Circle of Pain makes a lot of sense. I am being locked out of playing my aggressive units, but once this Skull Catapult dies, I will be playing them, because I know Skull Catapult isn't going to be available for my opponent to play. So, unfortunately, my opponent abated my aggressive unit play by forcing me to spend 5 mana to respond to Vengevine. And because of that, I have such little damage on my opponent's Sub-Guardian that I probably lose this game. However, my opponent made the mistake of playing the Skull Catapult in the top row. I'm very confused why my opponent did that. So I'm not going to blame this loss on my internet connection, because this matchup can be tough for me to beat. I mean, I guess last time I bet I beat a Garruk with the Reaver Demon, right? Not this exact version of it. So Garruk is difficult to beat, especially when the Skull Catapult is played. Like, any black deck is hard for red to beat because of the Skull Catapult. It's not only a building, but it summons a unit. So to me, the buildings kind of have tiers. The passive buildings are very easy to accommodate, to beat, I should say. Stuff like barracks. The defensive buildings are harder. Stuff like Lightning Tower and Vent Sentinel, where they deal damage, they're harder but not impossible because you can overwhelm them. But things like the Skull Catapult, where it launches, like it lands a unit that can then attack the Goblin Artillery or Hell Rider, it just gets really hard to defeat that. And then eventually, it gets really hard to damage the Sub-Guardian if you have to work your way through a unit and a tower first. So, a unit and a building, I should say. So that's this video. I hope you are enjoying the longer form content. Please let me know if you are or aren't. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you, and see you next time.